How's it, guys? Welcome back to Andy's Got Thoughts. Today I'm going to tell you about how, or rather why, I switched from the Canon system to the Fuji GFX 100S after 15 years of being a faithful Canon user. Please remember to like and subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Ring the notification bell. I'm quite active down in the comment section, so if you guys want to ask me any questions about what I have to say or about the camera systems, please just put them down there, and we'll have a nice chat. So let me just give you a bit of a background. I'm a photographer, as you might have seen from the podcast. I've been working in Milan since 2003, first as an assistant for 7 years, and then as a full-time photographer represented by an agency. And for most of that time, I've been working with the Canon system, both with photographers that I was assisting. It was either the Canon, the H system from Hasselblad, or the Phase 1s. And then as a photographer myself, the first camera I bought was a Canon 1DN, which was the sports version, which had a small micro 3/4 sensor, and so it was a crop factor on the lenses, but it was cheap as chips. I needed a camera to just build my book up really quickly, and so that was what I bought. And then when I started shooting myself and I had a bit more cash to spend, I bought myself a Canon 5D Mark III, and that's been my go-to camera day to day for pretty much the whole time. So I have all the lenses, I have all the accessories. All my flash systems were all on the Canon system. So I've got ProPhoto. So I've got the little the ProPhoto Air TTLs. This one's the Fuji one, and I've got a Canon one. So that's the way of that I work, basically. Around about 2021, my Canon was puttering out. It's done a lot of work and it was dying. I needed to get it repaired, so I sent it into the shop, got a new shutter, but it's an old camera, and I don't feel that it's as reliable as it should be anymore to be my little go-to camera. So I needed to get something new, and I wanted to get the 5D SR, which was perfectly in the price point. I'd been renting it out for most of my jobs anyway over the last 2 or 3 years. Prior to that, it was pretty much the camera that was being used all the time. Lots of huge files. I could use my lenses. It was perfect. And I was going to buy that, but unfortunately Canon had just decided that they were going to put all their eggs in the mirrorless basket, and so that was being discontinued, and I couldn't purchase it. I could find one secondhand, but I wasn't going to go and buy an SR secondhand. I needed to have something nice and fresh that I could start with and destroy it myself, rather than using somebody else's sloppy seconds. I was really against digital viewfinders. That's one of the things that kept me from the Hasselblad 50 megapixel camera, which I really liked. The form factor was beautiful, but it had a digital viewfinder, so I really couldn't go that way, and it was just a little bit too expensive for me to justify purchasing it. So what do I do? I was looking around, and basically digital viewfinders were the only option available. I could either go with the R system, but that would require buying adapters for my lenses or purchasing new lenses, or the Fuji GFX 100S had just come out. So I decided to try it out and see if it was any good on a professional photo shoot, because it's not a professional camera. It's a very high-end amateur camera, really, if we think about it. That's where it's sort of been marketed to. So I rented it out. The first job I shot in it, obviously I had a backup camera, but I used mainly the 100X. Was a cover shoot for Grazia for their Milan Design Week special number. And honestly, it knocked it out the park. I was shooting in low light conditions, and it handled it perfectly. It was syncing with my computer perfectly, connecting really, really quickly. I've got really high end IQ cables, or I use the Cobra tether cables. They work really well. Tether tool is good too, but they're not as quick anymore as they used to be. So I've gotten full into the Fuji GFX 100S after that shoot. I retouched so quickly because I retouched all my own editorial stuff. Retouched it. It was so easy to do. Like, there was so much information in those files that it really made the post-production part of the thing really easy. The color grading was super simple. The colors out of the camera were really fantastic. So I didn't really have to do much at all to get my personal style in. The form factor of the camera allowed me to shoot medium format, which is, I mean, it's not like a full medium format, but it is a bigger format sensor, in the same way that I would shoot with the Canon. So quick, bouncy from here to there, just moving around. I tend not to shoot tethered if I can, if I'm on location. Almost always shooting to card unless I really have to. So it was great. I've got really fast cards. It was saving it to the thing. And I have to say, the camera looks beautiful. It's got all these nice bevels. Let's see if I can make it look. Oh, maybe I need to go that way. It just looks really nice. The screen just perfectly flush with the body there. Even just the graphic design work on the screen itself is great. The user interface on the top. The actual menu itself, I'm not really a big fan of, but I tend to just give the camera to my assistants, and they figure out the menu, and then they explain it to me afterwards, so that I don't have to go and do all that pain in the backside stuff. I mean, I can, and I do know the camera really well, but if I can just get somebody to do the hard work for me, it's easier, it's better. I can concentrate on other stuff. So yeah, the screen is good. I'm not a big fan that the screen doesn't flip out to the side. While they were at it, they could have just had it flipping out to the side, so then I could have used it for this kind of stuff more easily. The video, which I don't really use that much, but I have used it, is actually pretty good. The follow focus, all that kind of stuff, makes it a pretty decent little video camera. But for me, the most important thing was the 16-bit files. The size of the files was phenomenal. I can shoot off the cuff on set and then take decisions afterwards. It gives me the leeway to actually make different decisions if I feel like doing it, it's a great luxury. I mean, of course, there are purists that'll say whatever you have from the camera, you should just use that. But I'm not a purist. I'm a commercial photographer, and sometimes I have to rethink my decisions a little bit. So yeah, it's a phenomenal camera. It looks good. It looks like it was designed by the same people that designed the Pro Photo gear. It wasn't, of course, but you come on set, everything looks good. Everything looks like it came out from the same box, and that makes me feel good. That's just personal fetishes. I do miss the optical viewfinder. I wish they would have put that in. I would have really enjoyed a sort of contact style rangefinder, maybe little optical viewfinder on the side. That could have been an interesting way of doing it. But hey, the lenses are sharp. It does the job. It feels solid. It feels like I could drop it. I haven't dropped it. My assistants haven't dropped it yet. But it feels like it could take a drop or two before being completely dead. And it's been shooting for about 3 years now with very, very few problems. I haven't sent it back to the shop yet at all for any sort of services. It should be about the time to send it in now for a shutter check. What don't I like about it? The slow sync speed for the flashes, it's a bit too slow. It's 125th of a second when I'm outside. Even with the ProPhotos HSS high-speed sync system, it doesn't really sync really well with this camera. Or maybe I just haven't figured it out yet. So if you do know how to sync it perfectly, just let me know in the comments below. Like I said, the digital viewfinder isn't my favorite thing. Lenses and autofocus is a little bit slow. Oh, it's gone really, really dark and moody. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's a shitty day today, Milan, so we'll just take this moody lighting. Hopefully you enjoy it. Yeah, so that's the lenses are a little bit slow. I mean, I've got the 32-64. It's an f4, which for a medium format camera, f4 is big enough. But and the prime lenses do go to 2.8, so you get faster lenses in that sense. But the autofocus is quite slow. That's what I meant when I was going autofocus. When I said that the lenses are a bit slow, I do miss quite a few shots for the focus, especially at the beginning. It's just a matter of learning that you're not working with a Canon anymore, and you have to be you have to pace yourself a little bit more and really think about where you're putting your focus points. Make sure that it's in focus. You don't really see the micro autofocus on the viewfinder. On the digital viewfinder, you have to maybe zoom in. But the way I shoot, which is quite quick, I don't have time to like zoom into the eye. Is it in focus? Okay, come out again. So I have to trust that my autofocus is good. So I'll be shooting f8 most of the time just to have the better the focal plane. What else? Pretty much it. That's it's a really great system. I've really enjoyed shooting with it. Hopefully, Fuji, you see this and you decided to maybe send me the 100X2 or the 100S2. Or the 102 to try out, because I think that's going to be the next step. But until I finish paying this one off, I think I'm going to just stick to renting out that camera when I need it. I have tried it out. The autofocus is way quicker, much quicker, and more precise. So maybe I'll just finish paying this one off, then sell it, and start paying off the 100S. But Fuji, you didn't hear that. Oh, guys, this is one of the things I really love about this camera. Listen to this. It just sounds good. Even the shutter. It just sounds quite soft and all nice and tactile. It's beautiful. Feels really good. I enjoy this camera. I have to say, I do enjoy the way that it sounds, the way that it feels nice and solid in your hand. I really can't complain. Maybe another thing that is a bit of a pain in the backside, the USB ports could have been recessed a little bit so that the cables go inside and they don't play around. You know, they're really on the body. They should have just been pushed in a little bit more, and then force the tether cable companies to just standardize their USB cables a little bit. That would have been probably a better choice, because I do find that the USB-C port is a little bit delicate. But it hasn't broken yet, and I've been shooting with this camera every week for at least 3 years now. So yeah, it's a great camera. If you're looking for a new camera system to upgrade to, and you don't mind shelling out cash for new lenses and new shutter release, flash syncs and all that kind of stuff, think about it, because it's worth it. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. And I hope you enjoy this photography side of the Arcade Studio channel. If you guys have any ideas for the next thing, what you'd like to see, would you like me to talk about my studio a little bit? Would you like me to talk about lighting? Just let me know in the comments, and yeah, see you on the other side. Cheers, guys. Happy shooting.